Alright boys, welcome back to another video. Knicks Daily here. It's currently 11 p.m. and I've got some news for you guys. Mitchell Robinson is expected to miss 6 to 8 weeks. That's when he'll be reevaluated due to stress in his left ankle. You'd have to imagine that injury occurred when Joel Embiid grabbed him. Remember, Mitch was rising, Embiid was on the ground. Dirty play, horrible play. Definitely lost a lot of respect for Embiid. Not that it had that much to begin with, of course, before that series, but after it, man, absolutely zero respect the way that Embiid played. But this is a huge loss for the Knicks. I mean, this could be the difference between the Knicks winning the championship and the Knicks not. I know it sounds crazy because Mitchell Robinson, when you think of the Knicks, he's certainly not the first name that comes to your mind, but you have to understand that there's a bigger picture here. Julius Randle is out for the season. Bojan Bogdanovic is out for the season. The Knicks were down to 3 bench players. Now they're down to 2. Isaiah Hartenstein played 36 minutes last game. He's now expected to play even more. Yeah, sure, Precious Achiuwa could step up and be sort of an unsung hero. Remember the OG trade? It was OG for RJ and Quickly. Well, now Precious sort of becomes an extremely important player in that trade. Not that he was non-existent, because Precious has had a lot of success for us this year, but he hasn't really been consistent. He's definitely a matchup-heavy player, and the Pacers, I think, is a good matchup for Precious, so he's certainly going to thrive in this. But Boston, Minnesota potentially, I don't know. We'll see, man. We want to take this one series at a time. But this is the first time, really, the entire playoffs where I've looked at the Knicks and I've been concerned because, okay, losing Bogdanovic sucked, certainly did, but it wasn't a big deal, right? It wasn't the end of the world. But Mitchell Robinson's a guy that I think the Knicks need to be able to have a chance against Boston. I don't think they need Mitch to beat the Pacers. I mean, no disrespect to Indiana, they're a hell of a team, but I think we still take care of the series. But by the time we get to Boston, who, by the way, in game 1 against the Cavs, 120 to 95. I mean, the Celtics are just absolutely cruising right now. They beat a banged up Heat team, but I don't see the Cavs winning more than a game in that series. For the Knicks, Josh Hart has been sensational. We talked about him earlier today in the video. Dante DiVincenzo, OG, Brunson, all these guys are logging 42 all the way up to 48 minutes. But now Hartenstein's going to be playing in the 40s. You have McBride and Achiuwa are the only 2 bench guys. Can you win a championship playing 7 guys? Has that been done? I'm sure it has. Maybe it's been done with less. I don't know, man. I'd have to go and do some research. But the Knicks in 2024, can you do it with this bench? Because the Knicks bench in game 1, I mean, they scored 3 points. The Pacers bench, look at what they did. I mean, they go out there and they get 18 from McConnell, 12 from Obi, 8 from Isaiah Jackson, and then Shepherd scores 8 points. So you're getting 4 guys coming off the bench that are giving you 8 or more. They were all positive in the plus and minus. For the Knicks, not the case, right? I mean, McBride was a minus 13. Robinson was a minus 8. Achiuwa was a minus 6. That's not to say that every game the Knicks bench is going to play like that. I mean, Miles McBride is as capable of really any bench player in the playoffs that can get hot in a hurry. We've seen it time and time again. I mean, McBride in the regular season was one of the most improved players in basketball. He shot 41% from 3, 45 from the field, gave you 8 a game in 19 and a half minutes, not to mention the defense that he provides. I mean, McBride, there were stretches of the season where he honestly looked like the best shooter on the Knicks. And it does seem kind of shocking, but if you follow the Knicks as closely as anyone in the fan base, you would know that McBride, really the past couple of seasons, has been the best shooter on the team outside of Brunson. In practice, of course, not on the court, and now it's starting to show. But I don't know, maybe I'm just overthinking it because it's so late at night and I'm exhausted. But at the same time, I'm not really concerned with the guys playing so many minutes because I know they can handle it. But it's also, eventually, it's going to catch up. And I think it's going to catch up next round against Boston. It's not to say that it's going to be a 4 or 5 game series. I think the Knicks are going to force 6, 7 games. It's going to be extremely competitive. But when you lose Randle, okay, that's one thing, man. Let's just try to somehow get past that. The Knicks were able to do that. They finished as the 2 seed. They beat the Sixers in the first round when a lot of people wrote them off. A lot of people even had the Sixers favored in that series. Draymond, for example, Draymond Green in this podcast said the Sixers would win that series. I mean, not that I care what Draymond says. I mean, Draymond is obviously a Knick hater. And then, okay, now you're going up against the Pacers. The Knicks win that game. Bojan Bogdanovic as well got injured against the Sixers. But now is the damage too much? I guess we'll wait and see. But this is something that I talked about in my preview before Mitchell Robinson got hurt, and that's Alec Burks. He did do extremely well against the Pacers in the regular season. I don't remember his exact numbers, but he was shooting the lights out of the basketball, man. Was playing about 18 minutes a night. I do think it's time to unleash Alec Burks. And I'm not saying that I know more than Coach Tibb, because that's definitely not what I'm preaching on this channel. I'm just a fan of the Knicks, giving my opinion on the team from someone who's watched every game, from someone who has been a fan of the Knicks my entire life, from somebody that sat through that 17-game win season. God dang it, man. Was that a bad time? But for Alec Burks, he's 32 years old, 6'5". He has shot creation ability. He was a big piece of that trait. I get Bojan was the main part, but Burks is a guy who can knock down shots. This is going to sound absolutely crazy, and I know it is. But imagine if Alec Burks had an opportunity where he came into the game and he's getting open looks because guys are going to be focused on Brunson, Dante. They're going to sort of give Burks and make him beat him. I have faith in Burks to be able to knock down those shots. And this is probably the craziest thing I've ever said on this channel. And I've said a lot of crazy things. But if it came down to it, I would trust Alec Burks to knock down a big-time shot. I'm talking about in the clutch. In the clutch, if Brunson were doubled and the Pacers said, hell, let's just live with Alec Burks knocking down a shot, I would trust him to make that. Now, in my defense, he did shoot 38% from three in the regular season, talking about Burks. He played in 66 games. He is a good shooter, but Burks is the type of guy where he could come in and legitimately help the Knicks. I mean, he's not a scrub. He's not a bum. He's at the back of the bench, but that isn't to say that he shouldn't be playing, because I think Alec Burks is capable of giving the Knicks 10 to 15 minutes. And if he does that, that's going to be huge for the Knicks long term. Because like I said, the Knicks could play their starters 40-plus minutes every single night. They'll beat the Pacers. They'll beat the Indiana Pacers. But Boston, is that going to work? Is that sustainable? I have no idea. I truly don't, and I don't even know much about the Celtics because I've only seen the Celtics when we've played them, because I only have time to watch the Knicks. Believe it or not, yeah, I actually do have a life. Sure, you guys do as well. I mean, not many people I'd imagine watching this watch like all the games, just the Knicks specifically. But if you don't, I mean, I'm not even hating on that. I mean, that's awesome. I'm more of a football guy, but for the Celtics, like, let's look at their rotation. So Tatum, Brown. Also, this is kind of not a good example because it was 120 to 95. This is not even a good example, but how many guys did they play? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 guys played 17 or more minutes. We're not going to count the 3 minutes from the other 3 guys. So, 8 guys is not like they're playing 10, 11 guys, but the Knicks are going to be sending out 7 guys. So I guess it's really not even that much of a difference, but it's also the fact that, okay, well, Luke Cornett played 21 minutes. Sam Hauser played 17. Peyton Pritchard played 24. You look at the Knicks, like I said, Mitchell Robinson, who's not even going to be playing the rest of the playoffs, he goes out there and he logs, 12 minutes. McBride 11, Precious 4. So there's a big difference between those minutes and then the minutes that I just said. So yeah, they're playing about the same amount of guys, but it's also the minutes that the bench is getting. The Celtics can rely on their bench to play those types of minutes. If, for example, let's say Precious Achiuwa plays 17 minutes, Miles McBride plays 21 minutes, then that means that, okay, well, Hartenstein's now off of the floor, and that means that Dante's off of the floor. And Dante was 5 of 9 from 3 last game in Game 1. Dante was, I think, about the same in Game 6 against the Sixers. And again, I'm not disrespecting Miles McBride or Precious Achiuwa, but Miles McBride is not as good as Dante DiVincenzo, and Precious is not as good as Hartenstein. At least in my opinion, and I'd imagine the majority of Knicks fans listening in their opinion. So, again, I'm not worrying. I'm not panicking. I mean, I guess I am worrying. That's kind of a lie. I'm not panicking, though. There's a difference. Am I concerned? Yes. Am I saying that the Knicks are all of a sudden screwed? Not really, because Coach Tibb, if anybody's going to be able to figure out, it's him. I mean, the guy got the Knicks to the 2 seed despite all these injuries. But can we see some Jericho Sims and some Alec Burks? Like, why not, right? Why not? Will we? Probably not, but I'm very interested to see Game 2, and I'm just so excited. Like, I'm literally making a video at 11 p.m. I've already made 2 Knicks videos today, and the thing is, like, yeah, I'm making money from this, but I don't really even care about the money, man. I'm just loving the Knicks right now. My Brunson jersey, I ordered it a month ago, and the guy is literally breaking records set by Jordan in 2009 LeBron. Like, I'm just so excited to finally have a good Knicks team, man. I've seen 2 good Knicks teams in my life. The 2013 Knicks and the 2024 Knicks. I've been a Knicks fan since 2010, about 14 years, and I've seen 2 good teams. So, yeah, I'm excited, and I'm kind of rambling to this point, but thank you guys for listening to the end. If you did make it to the end of the video, I need you guys to go down in the comment section and show love to J.R. Smith. The last Nick jersey I bought outside of the Brunson one was J.R. Smith, man. I mean, I miss J.R. Smith. I can make a whole video on J.R. Smith, the crazy shots that guy hit, the game winner against the Bobcats, the game winner against the Suns. I mean, J.R. Smith, bro. That's how long I've been dreading, like, or waiting for the Knicks to be good. Like, the team where J.R. came off the bench, bro, was like, turning on the Knicks every single night was like the best feeling, bro. And I feel like that nowadays, you know?